What's up, dudes? Max here, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball FighterZ breakdown. Today we're taking a look at the second character of the upcoming DLC, giving a quick preview of what you can look forward to as they come out at the end of next week. Previously, we were taking a look at Broly, and while he was easily one of my most anticipated characters, is a bit challenging to use, and while I think he's going to be just fine, given he has armor on so many of his attacks, which isn't the case for many characters in the game, he is a little bit more difficult, and of the two that we were playing or given a couple hours to play for each of them, the other one definitely gave much more of a resounding first impression because of how much stuff seemed to naturally flow and work. So let's get right into it and start covering all the crazy stuff that Bardock can do.
What's going on? Kakarot? Is that you?
Bardock really feels like a hybrid character of some other characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ right now. While he does have a couple of normals that are very similar to Goku and a level 3 that animates very similar to it as well, he has some specials that are kind of similar to Yamcha and some utility that very much resembles Goku Black. Let's quickly get into it and I'll tell you what I mean. First up is Bardock's light auto combo, which is fantastic. This move initially hits on the first attack and then slams them to the ground on the second, eventually launching them up for the third. This thing makes it very easy if you want to balance a combo into this attack, especially if you're using a mid combo and not at the start, making those relaunch situations via the auto combo a lot easier to do than most characters. His medium auto combo is standard fare, ending in his level 1 super, and there's not too much to say here. His Ki Blast is only okay, seeming to be a single shot, while he doesn't actually have any other specific specials related to projectiles. If there is one weakness that Bardock technically has, it's going to be the fact that he cannot put a whole bunch of energy all over the screen. However, one of the most notable aspects of this character is his normal attacks. Similar to someone else in the game, like, for example, Adult Gohan, who has some of the best, craziest normals in the game, Bardock gets access to some pretty good stuff, with a couple of crouching shorts that can be rapid-fire into combo, as well as a hooking kick that very much resembles a character like Adult Gohan, and a crouching medium attack that is a low and also has some ridiculous range to it. The best part about a lot of his combos and his structure is that he does have the Saiyan combo structure with the same mid-air relaunches and everything like that, but most of his combos just work very naturally. By pressing medium twice in the air, he has a double kick similar to another character like Piccolo, for example, but one of the cool parts about it is that almost at any portion when you land a crouching medium and a standing medium to go up for a combo, it just seems to work everywhere. Bardock's first special is the Rebellion Spear, which is executed with Fireball forward and any attack button. The light version of this move is extremely fast. Setting this up at the beginning of a match with an assist is almost unstoppably quick. And all of these moves can also be executed in the air. One thing to note with this move is that Bardock seems to get an unusual amount of actions. I was able to pull off 3 light Rebellion Spears in the air, so if anyone got hit by one of those, you can technically cancel it into super if you wanted, so that's pretty good. The medium Rebellion Spear is an uppercut, which is kind of similar to some of the stuff you see on Gohan as well as Adult Gohan. But the aerial version of this move is a dive punch that smashes the opponent into the ground, occupying your smash attack. The interesting thing to note about this specific special move is that it sets up for a lot of stuff. If you're in the corner and you land either the grounded or aerial version of the medium Rebellion Spear, you're getting full combo off this thing. The hit stun after almost leads the opponent completely to the ground, setting up for a full combo opportunity if you do have the corner, so that's really not bad at all. The heavy version of Rebellion Spear uses meter and launches Bardock entirely across the screen. If the move does connect and you hit another button right after, he punches them up into the sky. However, if you do use the aerial version of this move, he punches them down to the ground. It's interesting to note that on block, if you try to apply the second attack of this special move, it will not come out. Bardock's other special is called the Raging Meteor and can also be performed on the ground or in the air. This is an interesting spin attack that is sort of similar to another character like Yamcha. However, its application is almost even better as it sets up for situations that are extremely beneficial for Bardock, like hard knockdowns that can easily go into super. It's also interesting to note that this move did also seem to be an overhead on block, so you might be able to catch your opponents in some situations, but we didn't get a chance to test every single version on block. The really good good ones, though, are the medium and heavy versions. These set up for hard knockdown splat situations, which allow Bardock to follow back down to the ground and then go for super. Usually, if you want to end an air combo or something of the like, ending your combo in the medium version is pretty damn good, but if you want to make sure you get that knockdown and make sure it comes out fast enough, using that one bar on the heavy version almost guarantees it. Bardock's fireball forward with the key button is called the Tyrant Lancer, and instead of giving a Kamehameha special kind of attack or anything that's even a projectile, it's a charging punch, which is fairly unique. As we said earlier, the only projectile you're really going to find on this guy is in supers, as well as his regular key blast, which isn't incredibly impressive. But this move is also fairly unique as you can charge it, setting the opponent across the entire screen in a wall bounce. While we didn't get the opportunity to have a ton of testing, this move did feel like if you charged it up all the way on block, it might put you in a situation where you could be at an advantage. This move very easily sets up for a vanishing attack after, as well as setting up his auto combo, which just flows in the easiest way possible, which is a lot of what Bardock does. Everything just seems to work. Now let's get into Bardock's supers, which I need to add right now can all be executed either in the ground or the air, which results in Bardock just being an amazing utility character. The first one is the Riot Javelin, which is done with fireball forward as well as light and medium, and this is your standard fare projectile super. The interesting thing about it, as well as it being done in the air, is the fact that you can angle its attack. If you're in the air, you can angle it down, and if you're on the ground, you can angle it up. Saiyan Spirit is performed with fireball forward as well as key and heavy, and this is commonly being called the bionic arm of Dragon Ball FighterZ right now. This move lunges Bardock across the majority of the screen and seemingly has a bit of invulnerability at the start. It also has a modifier, and if you hold down any of his attack buttons after you execute this move and it lands, you'll add the Javelin from the first super we were just talking about for a level 2 super in total. But the big thing about this super attack is the fact that it recovers incredibly fast. If you execute Saiyan Spirit while first calling an assist, especially in the corner, you can set up for some ridiculous damage. I'll have some examples later in this video, but this move has a huge amount of utility other than the fact that it seems to have a decent amount of invulnerability and comes out fairly quick. And finally, Revenge Assault is executed with Fireball back, plus the heavy attack and key button. This super might look extremely familiar because it's an alternate take of what Goku's level 3 actually is. Instead attacking from a straight angle instead of behind you, Bardock sets up for something very similar to his son, which can either be executed either on the ground or in the air, once again leading to an amazing utility level 3 for the character. Last but not least is Bardock's Assist, which is the light version of the Rebellion Spear. The move comes out and hits a single time, punching the opponent forward. If you're on the ground, this actually keeps the opponent in a grounded sort of state, and it kind of reminds me sort of what Yamcha does, except it only hits once. The timing of it is also similar to another character like Hit's Assist, but this one doesn't launch them up, it launches them in a horizontal direction. And seemingly because I wasn't able to add it in the previous video because the footage just wasn't working, I got it recovered, and I'm going to add Broly's Assist right now, which is a small variation of his fireball forward with the key attack, and this move is a projectile that travels across the screen, but it doesn't have similar properties to Broly doing the attack normally where it grabs you at the start. This one has a little bit of delay when it comes out and then travels across the screen. It's kind of similar to Android 21, but is a little hard to set up, especially for juggle combos, so we'll see how good it'll be in the long run. That about does it for the first DLC that's going to be appearing in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Of the two characters, Broly I was easily the most excited for, but I ended up kind of falling in love with Bardock with the few hours I had with both of these characters. And Bardock, so much stuff just seems to work. I'm going to give you guys a few examples of that, and I'm also going to be playing several matches online. The interesting thing to note that while at the event we were hearing murmurings of things being changed within the game, and others that were at the event also were testing around some stuff with Android 16, mentioning that some stuff did feel different. Other people also have been watching some footage that I put online of Vegeta's assist, saying that that did also feel and look a little bit different. But since I don't play these characters, I don't really have a good example or basis to judge how different it actually is. Although a lot of people are saying it is different, I'm thinking it might be a placebo effect kind of situation where we're looking at something and we really want it to be different, so it kind of feels that way. But either way, we're gonna have to wait on official news from the source right now because they could not confirm anything directly at the event. But it was a build of the game that did feel like some stuff had been changed according to several players there. So we'll see what happens when the game eventually drops at the end of the week. As always, dudes, thank you a ton for watching. I'll be back with more week of gameplay footage of these characters as soon as I get an opportunity. But until then, I'll leave you all with some Bardock combos. Appreciate any thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Thank you guys a ton for watching. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.
Gonna change the future.